You may wake up one day and feel lost, confused, unsure, unhinged, unfulfilled, maybe even spinning out of control. And exhausted, you may think, man, I didn't sign up for this journey. You know you want life to be different, but maybe you don't have a clue how to get there. You have a willingness to change your life, and that's a great starting point. But like a life coach once told me, the most common question he gets is, how? How do we make life different? We all have unexpressed potential to some degree, and today we're going to talk about 6 starting points that can open the gates to this potential. This podcast is all about helping you with your spiritual growth so you can overcome obstacles and manifest your destiny to crystallize and materialize any dream, basically, to have success on life's journey. It's all about getting unstuck by unlocking your hidden power. So let's get started. Hi there and welcome. My name is Remy, like Do Re Mi. I'm a best-selling author and creator of the Get Unstuck Revolution. I help extraordinary women just like you dissolve the obstacles in your path so you can bring success to you. Now let's get started with today's video. Okay, let me jump off the screen here and switch over to my laptop. You know, sometimes we're dealt a hand in life that we aren't happy with. I mean, how can we be? In research for today's show, I Googled, I didn't sign up for this journey, and I found stories about infidelity, sexual abuse, even one story about someone's sister who signed her up for a week-long wilderness trek. Yeah, I'd be the one screaming, I didn't sign up for this, for sure. So, whether it's a literal journey or something we've been handed in life, there may come a point where we want out. We want to be done. But then we realize that maybe there are lessons and expectations and responsibilities, and even learning to manage our energy and our emotions. Well, today we're going to talk about what to do when you want life to be different and where to start so that you can ultimately find success. If you'd like to see success in full abundance along life's journey, and if you're wanting to tap into a greater knowingness and align with the higher consciousness of your infinite self instead of the lower ego thinking that pushes success away, then this is for you. It's time to be unabashedly, unapologetically, happily untethered to ego thinking. It's time to align with the higher energies of our soul's path instead. This episode is for you if you wonder, did we choose free will before we came to this planet? Do we have unexpressed potential, and how can we unlock that? And what can we do when we just want life to be different? Yes, these episodes are about how to find your hidden power when you want to transform challenges into successes. I like to call it the audacity of alchemy. Because when we're feeling stuck, it's never the situation that has us stuck, it's our energy about it that's become stuck in anxiety, overwhelm, doubts, worries, frustrations, indecision, and even anger. And often this is because of a spiritual injury that we've experienced, some kind of hidden trauma. So it isn't the pain of our situation, it's the pain of not being connected into the natural energy of who we really are, of being connected to that magical part of us that's a creative vibrational being who can use positive energies to create what we want and bring it into physical manifestation. We can allow our manifestations to materialize without getting stuck in the negative vibrations that block them. These positive energies that we talk about so much are where we find the magic of alchemy, because our choice of frequency, our choice of those positive thoughts and emotions can change the course of our journey. Okay, so here we are, and for whatever reason, we're saying, I didn't sign up for this journey. We know we want life to be different, but we don't have a clue how to get there because maybe things have become tangled up, or maybe we're in a paradox between two choices where neither brings a solution we're happy with. Maybe we're caught up in a custody battle or a job that sucks the life out of us. Maybe it's a financial issue. Maybe we have a moral dilemma, or maybe we feel like life has dealt us a hand that we just don't know how to deal with. We have a willingness to change our life, and that's a great starting point. And sometimes we just need a really great mantra to get us into the mood, to get us into the right headspace, to get things moving forward. So let me offer up a few mind shifts, and then we'll start moving into these 6 starting points that can open the gates toward a new direction. Sound good? Okay, then. Let's warm up with the first mantra to clear the space for some new possibilities, and then we'll get to work here in just a minute. And so the first mantra is, or the first thing to think about is, what is this teaching me? If you're quite frankly fed up with the quote unquote lessons of the universe, and trust me, when I was in my 20s, I remember running outside and screaming at the heavens, enough with these lessons already. So if this one that says, what is this teaching me? If this doesn't resonate for you, well, let's try another one. And the next one is, I didn't come this far to only come this far. Yes, I'm showing you an image of a lotus flower because it symbolizes spiritual development, enlightenment, and perseverance. The lotus flower takes root in muddy river beds, yet it still flourishes and blooms anyway. It's amazing that something so gorgeous begins life in such a deep and dark place. And yet, the dirtier and darker the mud, the more radiant the lotus flower will be. So the mantra is, I didn't come this far to only come this far. I love this mantra because let's face it, when we have a lesson that we've come here to learn, we've already created an agreement with the universe and our guides to help us through it. We made the agreement before we came here. So if we don't get it now, it may come back in a more intense lesson. Better to get through it and get through it now so we can just move on. Now, if this mantra doesn't speak to you and clear the path or create a foundation for the work that we're going to do today, I have one more, and then we'll get down to business with our 6 ways to begin to make a difference in our journey. And here it is. Just because life isn't what we want right now doesn't mean our future can't be better than we've ever imagined. Just because life isn't what we want right now doesn't mean our future can't be even better than we've imagined. All right, there you go. It's just a suggestion, but sometimes it's easier to get into the mindset of changing life before we get down to the business of changing life. And either a mantra or maybe a personal truth, if you know what your personal truth is, that can be a good starting point just to prime the pump and just get spiritually centered. Or maybe an affirmation just to get the energy moving into a really good direction. And one more thing, and this isn't a mantra, but just food for thought. Some people believe that we live on a free will planet, and we do. But you may not realize that much of our free will was chosen before we ever came to this planet. So, what we're going through now was designed to be the way it's being presented. Now, I've had my own moments of frustration where I scream at the universe, I'm exercising my free will to step out of this journey right now. Yeah, not sure it works that way. I mean, we don't graduate until we graduate, right? So let's look at 6 affections or 6 insights that can be a starting point to make our journey different and for us to find a little joy in this journey so we can move through it a little bit easier. When we want life to be different and we don't know how to get it there, well, here comes affection number 1. What do you 100% love in your life? What do you love about your life? See, I'm calling these affections for a reason. What do you feel affection for? Is it your job or career? Is it your family? Is it your beloved pet? Is it your love of cooking or gardening? What do you love in your life? We want to start by discovering what's deeply and truly important to you so we can love up on it a little bit. We want to find those things that spark a quality of life. It's kind of a starting point. Do you love certain activities that make you feel alive with optimism or enthusiasm? Or maybe they ground and replenish you? So, this is the first. What do you absolutely love in life? And is there a way to expand this thing that you love so much? Is there a way to make it bigger, better, stronger, brighter, and more a part of who you are? To make life different or to change the course of your journey, what do you love in life and can it be expanded? Okay, so here comes affection number 2. What are you most proud of so far? What are the accomplishments or successes that you could write down in a list? These will help you identify some of your strengths and maybe even a pattern. Maybe you were a top soccer player at one time, and then maybe you won some kind of design competition, and then maybe you became a top salesman at your company. So, this would show me that you're multifaceted, that you enjoy competition, and that maybe you have an artistic side, if that's your example. And I would look at these strengths and these patterns that you've experienced so far and then see whether they can be used to solve your current challenge. If you aren't enjoying your journey right now, I'd ask, how could you infuse it with a little competition, a little creativity, or maybe find some new facets to the journey that you hadn't yet considered? And these new facets might bring about an aha moment that opens up the floodgates. So, this is the second affection that success leaves clues. And if you'll look at what you've accomplished or what you're proud of in other areas of life, this might be a springboard for the next success. So, to make life different or to change the course of your journey, look not only at your strengths, but also ask if there's anything missing, something that's a strength, something that you're proud of that you aren't currently using. All right. So, here comes affection number three. What's your soapbox issue? A friend of mine who hails from Chicago told me that they used to have soapbox night at their local pavilion. It was kind of like karaoke night where you had the microphone for a small amount of time to perform. And so people were encouraged to walk up to the mic and talk about something they held near and dear to their heart. And he always talked about outstanding customer service. He would tell stories about what he or his dad had experienced that week, good or bad. And it probably won't surprise you to know that when he grew up, this became his career. He travels all over the world and trains companies and their employees in customer service. It was that much of a passion for him. So, this is the third affection. If you could stand on a soapbox and talk about what you stand for or what you value, and no one would judge you, what would that be? This is one of the ways to uncover your values and virtues. And in giving this some thought, you might be able to more clearly see why your current journey is troublesome, either because it's violating one of your values, or maybe it's a value that you hadn't realized yet. Maybe there's a value that's rising to the surface that you just never thought about before. So, to make life different or to change the course of your journey, what's your soapbox issue, and does it relate to this current challenge? All right. And so for affection number four, what's your ideal day? I did this exercise at a recent workshop and it was so much fun. It was just amazing. What you'll do is close your eyes and imagine the most ideal day, starting with the moment you wake up. Where are you? Are you someplace in Tuscany looking out over a vineyard? Are you high in the Alps at a ski lodge? Are you inside a castle ready to explore every room? What time are you waking up and what do you see? Who's around you? Does someone bring you a cup of coffee and eggs Benedict? And what you'll do is just continue to explore this vision of an ideal day in great detail from moment to moment, from hour to hour. Write it down in your journal, record it on your smartphone, whatever works for you. You have no limits and no boundaries, just your ideal day. I remember the first time I did this, oh, so many years ago. And for me, Neil Diamond performed a personal concert for me out in the meadow as I watched from my bedroom window with the lake and mountains in the background. I mean, no limits, right? I can have Neil Diamond perform for me if I want to. It's my vision, and it's your vision too. So it can be whatever you want. Write down what you do throughout your ideal day, sun up to sundown. What would you do if you were ultimately successful? Who have you become? Who are you serving, if anyone? What's your ideal day? Now, just for a little twist on this exercise, you could also write it in past tense. And at the top of the page, you'd write down, oh, what a day it's been, or oh, what a year it's been, and work backwards from there. So, this is affection number four. And the idea is that you wouldn't have a desire if you didn't also have the ability to bring it to fruition. So, what's your ideal day? And how does it relate to your current challenge? And now for affection number 5, what would you do if you married a billionaire? When I asked myself this question, I was surprised to learn that I would go back into real estate investments, not to flip properties, but to renovate luxury properties around the world. And this seems very not me, but it's exactly what came to mind. So we've all heard that question that if you had $1 billion, what would you do with it? How would you spend it? And then what would you do with your time? If you had $1 billion, what would you do with that money? What would you spend your money on? And then what would you do with your time? So this question is really about what you do now that you have the means to do whatever you want. Again, we're taking limitations and boundaries away so that we can brainstorm possibilities. So for affection number 5, what would you do if you had the means and the time to do anything? And how does it relate to your current challenge? Maybe your current challenge involves money and maybe it doesn't. But what would you do if you had the means and the time to do anything? And lastly, here is affection number 6. If you could be on any journey, what journey would you be on? Would it be an actual journey like cruise around the world on a super yacht? Would you go visit another planet or another universe? Would you go back to school and become a doctor or some career that you secretly wish you had chosen? Would you be a dancer on music videos? That was always my secret dream. Would it be a test of strength or of human spirit? I'm thinking about the Sandra Bullock movie that was called Gravity, where she was stranded in space. That's a journey. Or if you could choose any journey, would it be a spiritual journey like you're on now? And if so, would you have a council or guides or angels to assist you this time? Not that you don't already. So, this is affection number 6. If you could redesign your current journey, what would it look like? What kind of journey would you love? And would it have obstacles and challenges to keep things interesting? That's the bigger question. That's the bigger question. It might also be an aha moment for you. So, these are the 6 affections for today, or 6 insights that help you through your journey that you're currently on, hopefully. And so, the idea is to open up to new possibilities whenever we find ourselves in this place of muttering, man, I didn't sign up for this journey. Well, I hope these insights have helped out just a little bit and opened up a new perspective as we empower ourselves toward self expression and who we are at our core and who we're becoming without the negative or defeating emotions of ego telling us that we just can't get through it. We're choosing a higher frequency, higher and better thoughts because our choice of frequency, our choice of more positive emotions and more positive possibilities, well, that changes the course of our journey. So, reflecting back on everything we covered today, how can you apply what you've learned? Sometimes we find ourselves in this place of knowing we want life to be different, but maybe we don't have a clue how to get there. We have a willingness to change our life, and that's a great starting point because we all have unexpressed potential to some degree. So, in reflecting back over what we covered today, what have you been able to tap into? Well, I hope this helps you as you're using the powers of alchemy to transform challenges and obstacles into positive new successes. This podcast is all about helping you have success on your spiritual growth journey. It's all about getting unstuck by unlocking your hidden power. If you still can't get your head around what's got you stuck, you can tell me about it. You can send me a question to questions at unlockyourhiddenpower.com, or you may not know that you can schedule a one-on-one session with your own personal unstuckologist, that's me, by visiting instantbreakthroughsession.com. This private session is designed to help you tap into your greatest resource, that's you. And together we can make quite a team toward calling in the transformational powers of alchemy. In our time together, we'll uncover your single biggest stuck point, the one you can't see. And we'll also go over the most genius ways to create clarity so you can just move forward while one obstacle after another is obliterated. And we'll create a strategy to get you moving in a really good direction, the one that's aligned with your life purpose. If this sounds like a match made in heaven, you can hop on over to instantbreakthroughsession.com right now and book the time slot that works best for you. Well, thanks for joining me today, and I'm wishing you a life filled with all the alchemy you need to bring success to you. Feel free to share this video with anyone you know who's feeling stuck, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.